Hi, can everybody introduce themselves? Would be great.
Okay, I am an Indian living in Germany, Stuttgart, with my family here. And I freelance here. I do a lot of independent work. And I started off with doing documentaries. I've been working in documentary field for over 2 decades. And for the last 5, 6 years, I've been making independent films.
That's very nice, very nice. What about you, Juan Jumoya?
Hi, thank you for the invitation, first of all. Yeah, I'm from Spain, as you know. I live in the south of Spain, and I used to do some short movies from a long time ago. But also I have other works, of course. I also work in like professor in school.
Okay.
And yes, and I'm really excited with this initiative also to share with other people who make the films and to know how they do it and to know more about this great festival.
Daniel, hi, how are you doing?
Hi, great, thanks. Well, my name is Daniel Cuenca, and I was born in Mexico, and I live in Spain, in Madrid, since 2007. And I'm a music videos director, and I've been doing music videos since around 2010. And then a few years ago, I decided that I wanted to do my first short film, and this is the one that is currently in the festival.
Hi, Neeraj.
Hello, I'm good. I live in Gujarat in India, and this film was my diploma film in a film school at Whistling Woods International. One of my first films that is in the festival circuits right now. As a first timer, I've received a few nice, let's say, responses from the audience and festivals.
Okay.
So it's a nice, it's a first time for me to be here in the panel with the rest of you. So I'm really excited.
I'm very glad, all of you, I'm very glad that you guys could join us. And, it's always our initiative at TFM Film Festival. We try to get a lot of viewpoints from all filmmakers. We're always here together. We are together in this. And you have all of our support. And today it's all about you. It's all about your film. So Vikram, let's start with you. We want to understand your point of view as to tell us about your film and how did you go about the treatment and your approach to filmmaking for Jaws of Death. Am I right?
Yeah, exactly. Jaws of Death. Basically, like I mentioned, I have been doing a lot of documentary films. And initially, after finishing my studies in India in MA Communication, in mass communication, I moved to Germany, married pretty early, and I was living here. So I was doing a lot of, just to support myself, I even did wedding videos and stuff. But then soon I got into, I started getting work from nonprofit organizations that were helping, people and organizations in India. So I started doing a lot of documentary, and many years later, but my initial passion was always to tell, fiction narrative films. But that paid me at that time. So I continued with that. This film was, commissioned to me. The background of this film is I was commissioned with a few reports from an organization that was helping people in Syria. Now, as you know, people living in Europe, we know the conflict in Syria, how it started with Arab Spring, and later it picked up, a lot of, uproar, and it just built up, and how it displaced many millions of people in that country, and they started moving to Germany. 2015, we had the largest influx of immigrants in Germany around our city, also Munich. And so I was witnessing that. I was meeting refugees and all. I was recreating some of the scenes and some of the stories for this organization. So over the years, I started doing that a couple of years back. And then last year, 2019, I thought, I will take some of the reports, and I talked to the producer in the US who had commissioned me this work. And I said, if I could use it to tell my own story. So I recreated from those reports this story, which turned out to be Jaws of Death, a short docudrama. Now the genre is Basically, it's built up on true stories, but it's reenacted. And since we could not go to Syria, at that time there was this conflict and it was not pragmatic or possible, feasible, we recreated some of the scenes in India. And so I know all of the actors. Yeah, I got different reactions to it. Many people say, how did you get into Syria to reenact that? And like, especially the Western audience, but the Indian audience, some of them found out, okay, it was shot in India, but a lot of people appreciated that. So that's in short. Yeah, I know I'm a lot to.
And our jury has seen it. We have a very eminent jury, including Manoj Bajpayee, who's our main jury.
All right.
And a lot of people did say that the narrative is very nice. And I'm sure we'll come to our next question a bit later. And I'm sure it must have been pretty challenging, to shoot a topic like this. So I must say hats off to you. That's what I will say.
Thank you.
Juanjo, I'll come to you now. And a lot of our audiences have liked your film Capture. It's very different. It definitely talks about, it's very mental. But let me leave it to you. Why don't you share more details regarding this movie, Capture?
Yes, of course. Well, the story of Capture started a long time ago. In fact, it was written like 10 years ago, more or less. But of course, like every story has evolutionated during these years. I wanted to tell a story about what is humanity for us, to try to define how can we can define what is human or not. Because sometimes, when we use new technologies and we try to access to some web site, something like that, always they ask us if we are human or not, if we are a robot or not. So around this question, because sometimes I have to recognize that a website, for example, told me that I'm not a human, so I cannot access that. From this idea, I wanted to analyze what is the definition of human, and what happens if we are not inside this definition, if we have some problem, or we cannot recognize that capture. But of course, always it's not just a story about that, because I wanted to use this story also to tell more about, for example, criticize to capitalism, the wild capitalists that use people like a number, and also this war about the interviews, when you have an interview for to access to some job, and also you cannot act like a human because they want to find someone with the sentence very definite, and something very very far of natural human behavior, right? So I also use this idea to criticize a little bit more about this world. No?
The ending was very nice. I say the ending is really good, and I would suggest all of you guys should definitely go and check out the film. You should definitely see as to exactly where it is. I'm sure you all know the link. I'll just put the link on below. You can definitely check it out. And so Daniel, can you please tell us about your film now?
Well, for me, I think it was a process that was very natural because I come from music videos. And when I started to think about doing a short film, at the beginning, it was kind of difficult to try to think in terms of narrative and how would I get to do that. And I'm also a big fan of musical theater, so I thought that it would be great to do it in the musical genre. In fact, now I think that I don't want to leave this genre. I want to do all my films in as a musical, and it was a great opportunity because it allowed me to develop the story and introduce the songs and have dance and have many elements that couldn't be there if it wasn't told as a musical.
Personally, Daniel, I must tell you this. I mean, I have personally watched the film Pizza Fria, and I liked the way your approach towards the film, and I love the music, by the way, and I love the dance sequences in the film. So I really, I know I've talked to the other jury members and also to my other audiences, and the approach that you have regarding your film Pizza Fria is amazing. Is amazing. So I'm really happy that you have now you want to do every film this way. I think it's a
Yeah.
very entertaining way of doing it. What do you think?
Thank you, and I'm very lucky because the composer of the song is a friend of mine.
Yeah,
He has a band in the south of Spain, in Cadiz, and I did a music video for them in 2016. And as an exchange, I told him, "Well, now I directed your music videos, so how about now you compose the songs for my short film?" And I told him the ideas that I had about the story, the development of the characters. And a few weeks later, he showed me those three songs that form part of the story. And he captured perfectly the idea that I had in mind, because this is a short film that is staged in three different songs. And in the first song, we see the perspective of the man, and
yeah,
everything is a fantasy, everything is magical. In the second song, we see the perspective of the woman, and we see
yeah.
that not everything is as cool as it seems. And
Right.
in this point of view, he's drunk, he's kind of an asshole. And in the
Yeah,
third song is the end where they they start meeting in a discotheque, and
yeah.
in the third song they end up meeting again in the street at
The
5 in the
street, just sitting
morning.
and having pizza.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and this is the most realistic one where they show as they are themselves, really.
We really, I think I would say it is a very entertaining short film, and the approach that you have taken is actually very different. And I'm sure it's right now doing very well with the audiences. I'll now come to Neeraj. Neeraj, hi.
So,
I would like to know more about New Moon and what was your treatment and approach to making this short film?
yeah, so initially I had an idea of what kind of film I wanted to make as the opportunity arose. I
Right.
was looking for something very intimate, something very subtle that does not, which has a lot of emotions in it, and the idea of hope that I really wanted to bring out. So as I kind of was looking into things and trying to jot down the narrative out of it, looked, I found out that I have been living this kind of a situation from a very long time, and I thought it's a very interesting story arc in a way to be able to present it on screen.
Right.
So the basic story of a father and a son and the friction between them, which comes arises from silence, was the silence part of it was very important for me, as it kind of it happens into a lot of relationships that I've seen. And relationship is one thing, communication is something with other human being is something that I'm really interested in from a very long time. That's how I came into films and everything. So as without this medium, the basic communication problems that we have on day-to-day basis, have, I wanted to say something through that. And so the idea of the film was not to be able to solve something for you, but just nudge and motivate you enough to be able to see the other party's point of view perspectives, and just to have, if there is love, or if there is hope towards something, just try to take a step, and that might help into changing something, not solving it entirely, but can get you a step closer to something that you're looking for. So that
Right.
was a basic
Right.
idea I started with, and that's how it came around with the film.
It is very nicely done, I must say. I mean, I like the poster as well. The poster is very nice. It gives a very different perspective and everything. Moving on, I must say this that this year our film festival, the TFM Film Festival, has almost had around 580 entries, and we are showcasing almost 165 films over here on our platform. And the jury and the audience, they're really having a great time watching it. And obviously, we are adequately promoting it as well. Vikram, I'll come to you now. We have seen so many films, and we understand that every film has its own challenges in terms of budget, in terms of how you go about shooting it. Vikram, how was it for you, Jaws of Death?
So when I first heard that this producer wanted to do, I was in Belgium and we met at a restaurant, and they basically had some printouts that they started sharing, and this person was imagining, okay, I want this, and I said, what's the budget that you have? Like, after, because the thing that I imagine what we would require and to recreate a story and a place in a different country is only the work of what we've seen in Hollywood films, like, you know. And there was not going to be any special effects. There was not going to be any set building, you know. So I said, okay, so we have to find natural places. And I did a lot of research about the terrain and geography of that area. And of course, they have like wastelands, wilderness, deserts, but at the same time, they have hills and forests and stuff. So the challenge, I think so, the main challenge was to recreate something where I've never been. Personally, I've never been. So I see it, and it is supposed to be not totally fiction. Even if it were fiction, I would still try to bring in some reality. But here it was a documentary, and the purpose of the documentary of these initial short presentations was to show it to a small core group of sponsors. So there is a core group of people who were supporting rescue missions back in Syria. And there were, you can say, a group of daredevils in Syria, financed by people in the US who went into ISIS strongholds to rescue women and children, basically, you know. So I've only heard everything from news, read everything on news, but I've never, ever in my life gone to Syria. As far as I've gone to the Middle East, Dubai, Qatar, where the more friendly countries and conflict-free zones. So, I think challenge was to recreate that in India and still make it sort of believable and credible. And with a low budget, when we talked about the budget, they said, no, we don't have a big budget. It didn't even go, nowhere close to where you could create a decent set or anything. So I had to work with, and then on top of that, the actors had to be Indians who looked like Middle Eastern, and the terrain and the set and everything had to look and naturally been there. We couldn't recreate. So I think so that was a challenge, recreating the place, space, finding those locations, and the people who would, do the dramatic reconstructions.
I must say, it looked very realistic, Vikram. It looks very realistic, and you really feel immersed, and you really feel for them, and you really have this high sense of emotion. So, job well done is what I will say, and that also coming from you, from an Indian. So you really must have had to put on your thinking cap. I must say that.
Thank you.
Great. Juanju, I'll come to you now. And Captcha is very different, I must say, It's very different. The ending is very nice. It's got different types of situations involved. What were your challenges, Juanju?
Yes, okay. When I had to shoot this film, the first thing I thought, oh great, it will be very easy because it's just one room with a few actors, so it will be very easy to shoot. And also the movie before, the film before, was a little bit more difficult because we have many locations outside with all these problems when you want to shoot outside now with the light, with the weather. So I thought, oh great, it will be very comfortable, Right. But also I find out that there is no easy shooting, because always you have to take care of every detail, and sometimes it's not so easy to find it. For example, we have just one location. The main location is one room, but of course you have to try to find the best room for that, because it's almost like one part of the one character more in the story. So it was really difficult. We have to look for in many places, also to manage to try to shoot over there, because of course there are other activities inside this place, right? So it was the most difficult for me, also for the team. And also we had to try to create an atmosphere, future atmosphere, like science fiction atmosphere, but without any big science fiction effect, something like that. Just with taking care of costumes and creating this atmosphere with the light, with the sound. So
did
it's
you use
like
chroma? Sorry to cut you. Did you use
No,
chroma
no, no,
in
no,
in
no
any?
chroma, no chroma at all. Yes, we use just the room. The room is
Okay.
quite, it's really good because it's just like it's quite wide space. But just we used one chroma for one of the effects. It's true that we don't use too many effects because we didn't want it, because I prefer to concentrate the attention in story and also in the actors. No, but for me was the most important to try to find the best actors for that story with the like a stereotype very well defined.
Yeah, yeah.
To make this to tell this story, right?
Yeah, the story, and I'll say some of your actors got a lot of gravity to the scenes.
Yeah.
They look so different. They look so precise in their emotions and the delivery, and all
Yes,
of
because
them looked very different.
yes, because they don't have
Sorry, you were saying?
anything. They don't have anything in the room. The room is
Yeah,
empty. They
yeah,
just the movie is just the actors telling the story.
yes.
So all the attention is in over there, over them.
Yeah.
Mm.
You must tell your actors the performances were really powerful, very powerful performances, and a lot
I
of
will
people have really enjoyed, me included. I love the film. Capture, it's a good film. I must say that.
thank you. I will congratulate the actors from you.
Yes, you
Thank you.
must. Yes, you must. Moving on to Daniel. Daniel,
Yeah.
your film has got three songs. It's got
Yeah.
different perspectives. One of the boy, one of the girl, and then when they all meet, they sit down on the road, and they end up having the pizza. And I saw there are a lot of dancers behind you. You actually had a lot of
Yeah.
cast in that one. I guess it's a pub, I believe, or maybe a discotheque, I believe.
No, it was a discotheque.
It was discotheque.
Yeah.
So how tough was it to synchronize all of this?
Well, it was very hard, and also as Juanjo says, this initially was supposed to be a very simple project, a project between friends, and it was supposed to be very easy. And then it
Yeah.
started to grow, and we lost the sense of it. It grew like a snowball. And first, my first idea was to shot this in a pub with the actors and 10 friends, more or less. But when we started to say, no, this happens in a discotheque, we need to have many people. So we ended up having like 60 extras, I think. And we had the main dance group that would be the dancers that will do the choreography.
Yeah.
And we had a team of 12 of them. We had rehearsals during 2 months before the shooting. And then 5 days before the shooting, disaster happens because the main actor had to leave due to personal reasons, and we had to immediately find another actor who could learn the songs, learn the choreography, go to the studio to re-record the songs, and we had to do this in an expressed amount of time. So it was pretty difficult. And during the discotheque, we had many problems at first because with equipment, the follow focus didn't work. The gimbal didn't work also, so we had like 3 hours late of shooting, and we had to do this in 2 days in a discotheque. So it was kind of stressful. We had many shots to do, many dance involved, so it was
Yeah.
difficult.
I think I see. What I find is that when I saw the film, I realized it requires tons of rehearsals, and it does come across as a very expensive short film to make.
Well, actually, on the contrary, it was a very, very low budget short film. We had to ask a lot of favors to
Yeah.
friends. Even friends had to cook the catering for us, and
Okay.
several friends had to bring sandwiches
Got
and
together, did
pizzas,
it. Yeah.
and yeah. So it
Fantastic.
was a
So
very,
everybody got
very
their own.
low budget.
Everybody got their own food. The dancers worked for free, and a lot of actors pretty much just pitched in.
Yeah. But mainly the small budget that we had, it came from a friend of mine that was laid off from his job, and he got paid like the usual allowance
Yeah.
when you leave the job. So he decided to invest this on the short, and I put the other half. And with this, we pay the studio, the director of photography, the actors, and the the studio where we rehearsal,
Right.
and the
Because the look
discotheque
and
that
feel
was
of,
very closely.
I'm sure. Yeah, the location must have been pretty expensive, the discotheque especially, with the
Yeah.
amount of lights that you've used is amazing. But the good thing is the look and feel looks very, very nice. You know, it looks very jazzy and nice. So yeah, I mean, I'm amazing that you pulled it off. You know, in India, we have a term for it. It's basically called making a film in jugaad. That's what we say. So I'd say you pulled a lot of favors to get this thing done the way you've got it done.
Yeah, and coming from
Uh,
the music video scene, I had to stretch. I learned how to stretch a budget.
Neeraj, coming to you. Can you just
Yeah.
tell us shortly as to exactly what are the challenges you face? Because it's one of your first films that you're making for Whistling Woods.
Yeah. So, as per the production, I wrote it in a way that there shouldn't be much of an issue while shooting or in the budgeting of it, because I really required only one space and I only do
Yeah.
work only in that. So the basic idea and the problem was to be able to achieve the pacing of the film, because I wanted to create a slow trance of kind of a feel where the audience kind of has time to reflect on your own situations as well, to be able to remember something that it relates in your life, in your situation, and it gives you enough time to think about it and come back into the film as it
Right.
progresses. That
Right.
was one of the problems, and second problem I feel was to be able to represent the space as the mental situation, because I really didn't wanted to explore into many locations, as because if you, as per my experience, I feel if you're stuck into some kind of problem, it's usually you cannot really go into a new space mentally as well. So I feel like to be able to just stay in one place and to figure out your own thing and to look at it in a positive manner, was to be able to achieve that was one of the things that I really wanted, and
Yeah, it's pretty critical.
we have got this amount.
We at TFM are very happy that you have you guys, you know. And I would love to hear your viewpoints as to exactly what do you think of TFM Film Festival and anything that you guys think we can do better. We would love to hear from you guys. Starting from you, Vikram, what do you have to say?
Well, I am very fortunate and blessed that I came across this film festival. In fact, this is the first time I'd heard, and it was when I created my project and I started submitting through Fest Home. I am so fortunate that when I went to your website and I read your, goals and objectives and how you like to, promote upcoming filmmakers, young talent, and discover them. I'm really fortunate that I got the opportunity to be part of this year's festival, and I'm looking forward to be associated more and collaborate more, get to know what you guys are doing, and spread the word for you guys as well.
You're welcome. Yeah, you're welcome. So in our case, and I'll tell you more, for us, we always like to have an unbiased approach to all filmmakers. You know,
Yeah.
we believe in equal opportunity. So we would love to we look at every filmmaker in the same way. We look at all films the same way. And for us, it is all about promoting independent films and independent filmmakers because we know how tough it is, you know. So
Exactly.
it's not about us, it's about you. So if you see our social media handle, we are constantly promoting you and your films, you know, on our social media. Joan Joe, coming to you, what do you have to say about
Yeah, I have to say that like me and the rest of the team, of course, we are really happy with this selection. As I think the same like the colleague when I read the goals of the festival and the intention of how important is for the festival promoting different ways of filming to know new filmmakers, and also to create like a meeting point, no, to collaborate, to meet each other, to share experiences. I think it's the most important for me for the festivals, at least. No, first of all, of course, that you can show your movie to many people from different places, to share your work that you have been working for a long time, and also especially in India, because it's the first time we are selected in this country. I also, we are very, very fan of films over there. So we were really excited with that. So this is the most important thing, to share our work, and also to know new other filmmakers, to connect each other and to share our experiences, because I think it's the best way to evolutionate, to learn from each other, and to continue, to get also more motivation in this field that is very hard. We know very well how hard it is to shoot one movie, whatever movie we are going to make, because there is a lot of energy when you spend, money not too much, because we don't have money, but it's true that this is not easy. So it's really great motivation participate from this kind of festival. So thanks
Thank you so much
for this.
Welcome. You're always welcome. And that's how it is. We have to grow together. We all are together in this. We are one family. So we are definitely there to support you guys. And that's how it is. We all will grow together. Daniel, before we, time is short. So Daniel, what do you have to say?
We're also very thankful with the festival for this opportunity, and especially in this year, because it was very hard for all the other festivals. I also submitted a lot through FestHome, and it was a point where it was very disappointed to hear that many festivals couldn't go on due to the situation. And to have this online festival, I think it's amazing, because it allows to show our films to a wide audience.
Let's keep that.
I would like to say, as you know, that in our country we have a really small film culture, and places like this, platforms like this, really help it grow and lets us meet new people around us, so we can help and collaborate on a much more greater levels. So I'm really thankful and grateful to be here.
The jury, obviously, they'll have their own final thoughts on all the films. It's been great fun chatting with you guys, and I look forward to more from you guys. See you guys. Good night.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
See ya.
Thanks.
You.
Bye.
Bye.